Hi, can you say that again, please?
Yes, how are you today?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks.
That's great. How was your day today? Busy?
Mm-hmm. I'm starting a new job very soon.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Well, let's please. Mhm. Mm.
By the way, is it possible to um reschedule or classes just for Tuesdays and Thursdays, but making them longer?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, make it longer.
Yes, we can start
Well,
earlier.
all right, only Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
Okay, let me please check. So that means that you would like to avoid having classes one day and then extend on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yes.
All right. Like maybe we're talking about an hour and a half.
1.5 hours. Yeah. I would like to cover the program as much as possible. So
Oh, that means that you will still have classes 5 days per week,
no, I mean,
but more hours.
yeah.
Let me talk please with the coordinator. All right. I don't know if that is possible, but let's ask. I don't know. I'm not
Okay, let me know, please.
sure about it.
Um,
And also you could send her a message so she could know how important it is for you, right?
okay, because I want
Yes.
to advance as fast as possible, but that will mean we will have to have 2.5 hours class on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so we can cover the same amount of hours as if it were 5 days a week.
All right. So on Monday, how many hours do you want to have of classes? Like you're starting at 7:30 on my schedule. So an hour or how many hours do you want to have on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday?
Okay, no classes on Monday, no 2.5 hours on Tuesday.
Oh, no classes on Monday. Then you don't want to. Okay, so you don't want to have classes on Monday. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay, 2.5 hours on Tuesdays, no classes on Wednesday, 2.5 hours on Thursday, and no classes on Fridays.
All right. Well, for this, it is very important for you to talk with the coordinator, right? She needs to be informed by you, please. So send her a message and let her know that you cannot have classes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And instead, you only want to have classes on Tuesday and Thursdays, 2 hours and a half.
Okay, I'll ask her.
All right, please do. So that means that we will have classes until 9. Well, I think that
Till,
would, yes, 2 hours and a half, you said, right?
yes.
That will be a little bit complicated for me, but anyways, she can also find another teacher for you. No worries, it's fine. Anyways, don't worry. But just let her know, okay, that you would like to change your schedule like this way and see what she says. Anyways, whenever we finish the class, I will also contact her to let her know the same. All right?
All right.
Great. So don't you worry. Okay, so remember that on a previous class we talked about the use of infinitives after adjectives and also infinitives after nouns, right? So you worked actually, you already did the first practice in which you had some mistakes, if I am not wrong. Yes, right, it was on this one. So let me please access to the web page. And well, the negative form have to be placed before the preposition too. And I think that was the problem on why you scored bad in this practice. Okay, so basically it was saying for a toothache, it's essential not to, you have to follow this structure, not to eat, not to eat, all right? Don't eat here. For insomnia, you can say it's essential,
It's
or it's good,
it's a good idea
good idea.
not not to drink coffee at night.
Correct. And this one?
For a sore throat, it's important to not to talk too much.
Yes, not to talk too much. This one?
For a burn, it's not helpful to put ice on it. Or for a burn, it is helpful to not to put ice on it.
Yes, not to put ice. Very good. And this one?
For a backache, it's a good idea not to put ice on it.
And here, number 6.
For stress, it is important not to drink coffee.
Yes, and number 7.
For a burn, it is best not to put egg white or other remedies on it.
And the last one.
For any illness, it is essential not to medicate yourself.
Yes, very good. So now you understand this, why you made some mistakes on this practice.
Yes, I understand.
Right. I think you placed the noun after the infinitive and you have to place it before. I think that was the confusion here. All right, but you did great on these sentences, so I think we can move on to the next practice. All right, let's please work on this practice. There you go. Please remember we are talking about infinitives after adjectives and nouns, right?
Right.
Please work on that practice and let me know when you are done. Thank you.
Okay, I'm done.
Great. And how did you do on this second practice?
Great. I scored perfectly.
Amazing. Well, this third practice is specifically about nouns, okay? Because you did the first one that was specific about adjectives, and this one will be specific about nouns, all right? So I will be sending it right now. Please work on this one too. Thank you.
I finished.
Great. And how did you do on this practice?
I think I did it pretty well, but you know, in this kind of worksheets, if you add an extra dot or use contractions or don't use them, it's marked as wrong.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, yes.
Can you please look at it?
Sure. All right. You didn't answer it. Oh, here, now it's low. Okay, it says to followed by an adjective followed by an infinitive. Oh, it was adjectives again. Okay. So here we had the example. He's very scared. He can't move. He's too scared to move. The ice is dangerously thin. You can't walk on it. The ice is too thin to walk on it. And here, this pie is very hot. You can't eat it. This pie is right here, the typing. That's the mistake. The pie is too hot to be eaten. The pie is too hot to eat. Because we are using here the simple present, no? As you see here, you just have to, but it's also correct. But here, this is the incorrect part.
Okay.
He's very busy. He can take a break. He's too busy to take a break. Yeah, take a break. This one is correct. It was because of the apostrophe here that didn't need to be without contractions like the example. But don't worry, this one is correct. And here, he's too sick to leave the hospital. He's too sick to leave the hospital. This one is also because of the contraction. The grass is too high. Oh, I see. You forgot an O here.
Oh, okay. You're right.
And it's too early for him to go to bed. Yeah, because of the contraction here, but it's correct. These tomatoes
And
are
I also use added for him.
it's too early for him to go to bed. It's too early, but it's not. It's too early to go to bed. Oh, yeah. And here, these tomatoes are too green to be picked. All right, you use the past, the present perfect, but it was just the simple structure. It was a simple, you can't pick them yet. So these tomatoes are too green to pick them. This one is correct. He's too old to go to elementary school. Here, this one also the contraction is correct. He's too tired to do his homework. Yeah, this one is also correct. It's just here. Let me mistake. So 1, 2, 3. Well, this one not 3, 4. Well, this one is also correct. Or nevertheless, using the present perfect. 5. So yeah, you have around 7. All right, 7 is your score. So only 3 mistakes on this practice. All right. So, well, is there any other doubt or question that you may have about this?
No. I think it's crystal clear.
Okay, very good. Let's please move on with vocabulary. And this will be from for the last unit. Unit number 4. Well, let's see. Here we are going to be reviewing phrases with clear. This word, clear. So the first one, the first phrase, clear a debt. To completely pay back a loan. What is the meaning of loan? It's the money you have borrowed from someone or a bank. Please, can you think on an example with clear a debt?
Hmm. Before hmm, before I leave the country, I must clear a debt with the bank.
Okay. And can you think on another example?
Hmm. I want you to clear your debt with me.
Great. Clear a space. Something that is clear is easy to understand or see or hear, all right? That's the meaning of clear a space. Please, can you think on an example?
Talia is trying to clear Nick's name.
All right, and here. Clear someone's name to prove that someone is not guilty of a crime.
Yeah, that's what I said. Talia is trying to clear Nick's name.
All right, but we did an example with clear space, right, before?
No, we didn't.
Okay, well, please, you have to make an example with this phrase before. Clear space. I read already the definition.
Okay. These pictures are not a good evidence. They are not clear enough.
All right, clear enough. Okay, but to clear a space,
Mhm. Before you leave, I need you to clear your space.
great. And well, you already mentioned a clear someone's name, which is great. And here we also have an example. He's still trying to clear his name. And clear something with someone. We don't have a definition for this one because I think just by reading the words, it is easy to understand. Clear something with someone. So whenever you're having differences and then you sit down and talk and fix your differences, right? So please, can you make an example with this phrase?
The brother and the sister had a long conversation to clear the misunderstanding between them.
All right, good. Clear the air to make the air cooler, fresher, and more comfortable. And well, we have an example here. The rain has helped clear the air. So can you make please your own example?
You must open the window. You need to clear the air.
Great. All right. And the other meaning actually of clear the air is to remove the bad feelings between people. I had a massive argument with Sue, but at least it has cleared the air. Please, can you think on another example with the other definition?
Mhm. You really need to clear the air between each other.
All right. Here, clear the decks, to remove unnecessary things so that you are ready for action. Let's clear the decks and then we can start cooking dinner. Please, can you think on your example?
Before we start working in this project, we need to clear the X. We need to clear that X from any unnecessary tools.
All right. Clear the way to make it possible for something to happen. Please, can you read on the example given?
Hmm. Dean made Nick seem guilty to clear the way for him to be the star of the team.
All right. And the example given is, we've got a loan from the bank which has cleared the way for us to buy a house. Clear your head to the ability to think clearly. I won't have another drink. Thanks. I need to have a clear head for my meeting in the morning. Please, can you think on your example?
Mhm. Before your big test, you must clean your head from any unnecessary thoughts.
All right. And the other one, clear your throat. To give a small cough. She cleared her throat nervously before she began to speak. Nowadays, if you clear your throat, people think that you have COVID-19. So
I
it is
know.
very difficult when you're with people and you have a problem with your throat and you have to clear it. People are get scared.
Maybe maybe it's due to the dust.
Yeah, it can be due to the dust. Also, sometimes, I don't know if it happened to you, if it ever happened to you, but sometimes when you are swallowing your saliva, that some way, somehow, you get stuck with it and then you start coughing. And if you want to clear your throat, then that's sometimes difficult.
Yeah, it has happened to me.
Mm-hmm. So people nowadays, if you do that, it's like, oh, and also if whenever you see people doing that, it's like you don't know if that person is sick or what is going on. So everyone, no, looking at each other with weird faces.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the singer must clear his throat before the concert.
Yes, perfect. All right. So these will be all of the phrases that you're going to be reviewing on this unit. All right. So is there a doubt or a question that you may have about these phrases?
No, it's clear.
All right, wonderful. Let's please move on with grammar. Oh, we have a conversation practice before. And well, this topic is very interesting because we're going to be talking about learning English. And so, let's see. How long have you been learning English and how long will you keep learning English?
Hmm. I have been learning English since I was a child because I had English classes in my school, and I also um, had extra English classes on Saturdays. So that helped me a lot. And I think I will continue to learn English for the rest of my life because it's necessary. Nowadays, it is not an advantage for finding a job. It is necessary.
Mhm. It is very important. It is a must. Everyone must have a English diploma or something. Years ago, I don't know if you remember well, that maybe on our parents, English was a hobby, just like playing basketball, soccer. It was a hobby in which you could learn or not. It was okay if you did it either way. But nowadays, it's like it's a must, no matter the profession you have.
Yeah,
That way you are
I
more competent, even if you are living in a Spanish speaking country.
even if your job is not related to English at all, they
In
always ask for English.
Yes, they do for everything. That's it. And also English sums up to your resume, to your curriculum. So yeah, you have to. All right. Why are you learning English and explain?
And because I need to get a high grade on the TOEFL exam, so I really need to move out. I want to study abroad. And I think before joining this program, I thought my English was good, and it was good indeed, but maybe not good enough.
All right. And how are you feeling now through the process in which, of course, you didn't finish it, but you just started?
I think I've gotten a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's the key for success, no? To improve yourself as much as you can. All right. And how often do you use English outside of the classroom? Do you think this is enough? And how could you practice more?
Mm, well, I don't use English outside of the class. Maybe if I'm trying to read something.
All right. So do you think that's the way you do it is enough?
Sorry, can you say that again, please?
Yes. So do you think doing that practice is enough?
Yeah, probably because I'm practicing almost every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what do you find difficult when learning English?
Hmm, what do I find difficult? Doing, I think it is difficult to improve my pronunciation because there are very small details that I am not aware of, like the pronunciation of the word family. I just watched a video today that said that you should pronounce it family, 2 syllables, and I usually say family, 3 syllables.
Okay. So you found difficult on pronunciation.
Yes, and fluency.
All right. And according to you, which is the most important, grammar or vocabulary? And explain why.
I think both of them are necessary because you can't use your vocabulary if you don't know the grammar structures to use it, and you can't make any sentence if you don't know enough vocabulary. So I think both of them are necessary.
And what or who motivates you to learn English in like in comparing with others?
In comparing with others, probably because I'm trying to find a new job. Yeah, as I told you before, I've been trying to find a job recently, and I have been in many job interviews where they ask for English. Also, I also enjoy learning new languages, by the way.
All right, okay. And well, this one. How do you memorize new vocabulary or grammar rules?
Mm, I try to repeat sample sentences as much as possible.
And for vocabulary, do you also repeat the words?
Sure, I do.
And let's see. Is it important to speak fluently, like without pauses or thinking, or accurately, without making mistakes? And why?
I think it's more important to speak accurately, since if you're fluent but not accurately, be you may be misunderstood. And I think everyone can get fluent with practice. So I advise people to first work on accuracy and work on fluency step by step, little by little.
Mhm. Yes, indeed. And that is something very important what you mentioned, to speak accurately. Because no matter the fluency you may have, you also, as you say, may be misunderstood. And that sometimes could cause you problems. All right. So do you think homework is useful or just a waste of time? And what kind of homework do you prefer?
Of course, it's useful. Um, I enjoy homework that makes students think. I think homework should help you memorize.
Okay. And are dictionaries allowed during exams? And if no, or if not, should they be allowed? Explain why.
Hmm, maybe depending on the English level.
All
No,
right.
I don't think so. I think exams should be made according to their student's level. So if a student needs a dictionary during his or her exam, maybe that exam was not well prepared.
All right. And what can you do to improve your English?
Hmm, what can I do? I think finding a friend to speak with is very useful, especially if he or she is a native speaker.
All right. And how long does it take to become proficient in English?
It depends. Yeah, that depends on the people. Everyone is different. You know, there are many different kinds of intelligence, and language intelligence is one of them. So a new language could be more difficult for a person than it is for another one.
Yeah, you're right. And I think it will be depending also on the person, right? How many hours is this person really applying to learning a new language? Because I think it is not enough just because having classes, which happens with a lot of students that think that just because they cover some hours learning English and then that's it, they're set up, which is not the case. I think talking and the conversation, it is very important. And of course, well, you can have the influence of a native speaker, but it will also be depending on what kind of native speaker you will have to practice with. Because don't forget that each and one of, well, if we're talking about Americans and specific states, they have different manners and idioms and also the way as they pronounce, right?
That's
So
right.
if we're going to be talking with a person from New York, for example, you are going to be learning a lot of and using a lot of ain'ts, right? In your speaking conversation, which is not grammar accurately correct, but for just speaking it is. Now you know that whenever we speak in English, we can actually talk about whatever using contractions. We even can say gonna, we can say ain't, we can use many other words that are not grammarly correct to
By
say,
the way, I
but
hate
yes.
using gonna.
But for example, if you are going to be practicing with a person that lives in Boston, for example, you are not going to be saying coffee, you will be saying coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. It's like qua,
Coffee.
qua. Yeah.
That sounds weird.
Coffee. Yeah. So I think it also depends. I have to say that as whenever you learn your language, you know, in the different Spanish speaking countries, you have different people pronouncing differently. And of course that you find people that does it correctly. Nevertheless, they use still their idioms, right? And that's why we learn grammar, so we can find the difference. We can identify whether it's an idiom or it is not. So you know if it's an idiom, then you may just use these idioms in determined cities. And of course, whenever you're going to be talking professionally, not with your friends, with your pals, you're going to be talking correctly, right? So
I guess you're right.
therefore, I think
Yeah.
grammar is very important. I think so for us to identify, this difference, which is very important because don't forget that whenever you're having a conversation with a friend, you can omit everything, even grammar tenses. Americans, I don't know if you, well, if you had the opportunity to speak with them, they don't follow grammar rules because
I know.
no one does. Even in Spanish, we don't follow grammar Spanish rules. We don't.
I know. Uh,
Mhm.
I have a friend who is British,
Okay.
and for instance, he uses the word biscuits for cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Which
he
is
uses it.
correct for British.
That's right. And I usually pronounce this word directly when someone in this part, so in this side of the world, would say directly. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So biscuits is basically the cookies, no, for them. As well as they have other words. Yeah, they have these the in the States we say chips, but they say French fries, right? Potato chips.
Or
Potato is
crisps.
from, I don't know if it's from America. Let me think.
No, Americans call them French fries.
Yes, and they have another one.
Crisps.
Yeah, crisps. And even yogurt, the spelling has an H whenever you're talking in British.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And even the candies, they call it sweets.
Sweets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and they call the elevators lift.
a lift. And they call like a floor, they call it a flat. They don't say,
What?
oh, they don't say I live on the fifth floor. They say I live on the fifth flat. They say flat. They don't say floor on a
Okay.
building, right? And that's a general way. I will have to say flat. In Asia and in Europe, it's common to say flat. Flat. To talk about your building location, like your floor. Yeah, that's a word that
And what do you think about the way Indian people speak English?
I will have to say that it's very interesting and well, from my personal experience, and that's why I mentioned you about the grammar and everything before, because I work with Indonesian people and I work with Filipino. So when I was living in Hong Kong, and those were my everyday activity. That was my job, 10 hours, 8 hours, and sometimes 7 hours per day, talking with them, working with them. So and then when I went to the Philippines, I totally understood this difference because when I started working, of course, the Hong Kongese people talked to me, all right, in a different kind of English pronunciation and also with some different idioms that they have in Asia. And I was like, okay, I will learn like bathroom, toilet. Okay, toilet. I will say I will go to toilet. And they use a lot of phone. I will phone you. They don't say I will call you. I was like, okay, I can get used to this. Plus, I was going to live there for almost a year, so I had to get used to, right? And well, then when I started working with a Filipino, oh my goodness, I was like, oh, I thought, what am I going to do? Because whenever I spoke to them, like I'm speaking to you right now at this moment, they will say, okay, but can you repeat it again? And I was like, oh, again? And they were saying, yeah, again. I was like, oh, okay, I will repeat it again. But then you see, right, the difference. So they will say, for example, in this question, for example, we read, do you think homework is useful or just a waste of time, right? But they will read as it is, no? Do, like do, yo, and they don't
Think.
have this th on their phonetic, which is totally understood because Tagalog is very different. Tagalog is more draft, it's very direct, and they don't have this th like think, like Americans do. They have think, and that's it. Think, not think. Therefore, I had to adapt my speaking for them. Although I knew my speaking was like I was reading wrongly. So most of the times at the beginning in my first month, I had to fight with my own knowledge and my with my own mind. Whenever I wanted to say, for example, think or homework or useful, then I will say I will start thinking all over again or like aloud, no, like this one, aloud. And so I had to rephrase sometimes, and yes, I had to read it like them, no, like okay, what do you think, no? So and I was like, okay, I knew I was kind of like wrong in my pronunciation, I will say, but for them it was correct and understandable. So in whenever you're working and you're living in between a culture and a different culture, you have to adapt. That's what people have to do.
Yeah,
So
I see.
and because they were going to be my everyday job, so I was like, okay. And my boss was Filipino too, but her speaking was also was better, I will say. But yeah, and also Indonesian. Oh, it's like Indian people. Yeah. So that's whenever I think and I say, no, like whenever you experience outside is whenever you really appreciate your grammar knowledge.
And
Yeah.
Also Japanese people pronounce the sentence, bring your friend as bring your friend.
Yeah, and when I was in Korea, in South Korea, in Seoul, I when I arrived, that was my first ever conversation with someone besides the plane, of course. But when they picked me up, I was like, okay, all right. So I am in South Korea, right? And whenever I see my name written in a board, I was like, oh, hey, this is me. All right. And they were like, oh, yeah, welcome to South Korea. And I was like, oh, because I heard sauce, not like sauce. I was like, sauce? Did they say sauce? Do I have to like
South.
eat a sauce? Am I
Aus.
going to be eating a sauce? And then when we were on the band and everything, and I was talking with them, I realized that within Korea, they pronunciate the th as an s, so south. They say north, south, and also when I visited like the main border from North and South Korea, even the guide tour was explaining, like, okay, so from this side on, like if you walk a mile, you could get shot because this is part of the North Korean area. So they will say, okay, it's North Korea, right? And they will say, this is part of the North Korea. So you cannot go there. It's North Korea. I was like, oh, okay. And all the Americans with me were like, oh, all right. Yeah. So he meant north, right? And we were like, yeah, he meant north. But because also we lived there for a month, we have to adapt, right? And with these adaptations, at the end, when I came back and well, I visited my friends here, I was like, okay, yeah, we speak Spanish. It was okay. But then when I went to the States, I wanted to continue talking like, some of the idioms that I was using before. But then I switched. And how was it possible? Because I knew grammar. I had my grammar knowledge. So then when I was in the States, all right, so everyone was talking like very American fluency and everything and all the pronunciation. And then everything came back to me, I will say. And I was like, oh yeah. And so one of my friends told me, oh, like I noticed that like some of your speaking has changed like a little bit. That's what my brother said. And I was like, oh yeah. Well, the thing is that I had to do it. I didn't have an option because otherwise people wouldn't understand if I will speak like an American. So even the two Americans that were with me, because we were a group of three, even they had to change it. It was a must. Otherwise, we could be like repeating the same question all over. So these are sometimes situations in which you are involved. And then whenever you just get the practice and you know the difference between the grammar and the speaking, then you just adapt to situations, right? And you just use your English because what you want is to communicate, right? So you're not going to be empathetic and you're going to say, oh, okay, this is the way I speak. If you don't understand me, it's fine. No, you have to adapt, right? Especially if you're going to live in another country for a long time. It's part of you. But if you're a tourist, of course, you can just do whatever, right? But
What if I'm a student?
so if you're a tourist, so
You don't
because you
have to
know
worry
that,
about it.
yeah, because you know that by tourism, you're going to be standing maybe only like staying there for 2 weeks or 1 month as a tourist. But then if you're going to be living there, then you have to bring these things up, right, to your mind and then think. It was sometimes difficult, but I was very happy because Filipinos, they speak Tagalog and they have some Spanish words in their languages, like animals, numbers, and other words. So
Like
sometimes I could,
animals and numbers.
yeah, in Spanish. So they will say dos, for them is number two, two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And also
Yeah,
animals. So
because
it's,
Filipina was an Spanish colony,
yeah, they
and
were
it.
colonized by them. Correct. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a quite nice conversation. And whenever if you already met my personality type, I am very talkative. And well, to talk about experiences, I will be talking like for 3 hours if you let me. So let's please work on the survey. And well, we are going to be talking and continuing on Monday. All right.
Yeah,
Perfect. Please work on the survey. And well, please don't forget to text the coordinator and to let her know about
yeah.
your
I'll ask
answers.
her, and
It's possible for you.
maybe I can make things up. It will be kind of difficult for me, but if If she says nothing to you, we'll meet on Monday as regularly.
Okay, all right. Don't worry.
Thanks a lot.
By ending this term, no? And then maybe later on for the new one. Yes, of course.
Hey, but will I ever know what happened to Nick Crawford?
Oh, can you send me your email, or would you rather me to send it by your chat on WhatsApp? Or if you could type your email address, please.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you. And we'll see you Monday if we don't change schedules. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.